So I get a lot of gear questions. I mean, a lot of gear questions. So many, in fact, that I dedicated a huge portion of my website to list almost every piece of gear that I use to make videos. And while that gear list definitely answers the what about my gear, as in what gear do I actually play, it doesn't address the why. And I think knowing why someone makes the gear choices that they do can offer you a much more valuable insight. So for that reason, I've decided to make a few videos detailing some key pieces of gear that I use in my studio, and today is all about cymbals. Now, 3 years ago, I signed with Meinl, and since then, I've collected about 35 cymbals in total. And while I do regularly use most of those cymbals for different recording purposes, my personal setup has been pretty locked in for a while. So we have 6 cymbals to cover today. Let's get into it. For quite a while, I was switching back and forth between the 14-inch sand hats and the 14-inch extra dry medium hats. And to be honest, these hi-hats are pretty similar. But the reason I finally settled on the sand hats is because the sand hats have a lot more articulation. They're obviously really sandy and they're dry, but to me, these hats strike a balance between an ugly, scratchy sort of sound and a more clean, articulate sound. A lot of times when you go super dark or dry with cymbals, you're giving up some of that sharp articulation. And to me, the sand hats have all of the bite that I need from closed hi-hats, but they also maintain that dry, earthy tone. These hats have worked for literally every genre that I've used them in, and they're as versatile as any pair of hi-hats that I've ever owned. My left side crash is the 19-inch extra dry thin crash. And for me, I like having at least one super trashy option on the kit, and I tend to use this crash for moments when I need a crash sound, but I don't want the longer sustain of a traditional crash. As someone who enjoys playing a little bit busier, I found that full-bodied cymbals not only have more sustain, but they're also just louder compared to a thin, dry cymbal like this one. Having a quieter, shorter crash sound allows me to hear the notes that I'm playing immediately after the crash. Now, I prefer the 19-inch to the 18-inch and the 20-inch, because 18-inch crashes just feel a little bit too small for me, and the 20-inch extra dry thin crash is just a little too loud for being such an abrasive, ugly cymbal. Don't get me wrong, all of the extra dry thin crashes are pretty abrasive and ugly, but the 19 is just the right amount of ugly. My right side crash is a 20-inch Byzance extra thin hammered crash. I keep this cymbal on my kit as my normal crash option. I enjoy having one large crash cymbal that doesn't have any overwhelmingly weird characteristics. And while this crash is pretty dark, it seems to sit well in nearly every genre of music. It wakes up quickly when you need something mellow, and it opens up huge if you need something that's a little bit more aggressive and cutting. I tend to keep this cymbal on the right-hand side of my kit because it allows me to ride on the crash if I need to play something heavy. I think this crash is appealing to anyone who enjoys a more traditional crash because this thing has a pretty timeless sound, definitely one of the harder cymbals to hate on this list. Now this guy is one of my favorite Meinl cymbals ever, and it's been on my kit ever since I signed with Meinl. This is a 20-inch Byzance vintage crash. This is a super mellow, buttery, soft crash cymbal. One of my favorite things about this cymbal is that it doesn't have a big initial attack. I've often described this cymbal as sleepy because it really takes a moment for it to reach its full volume, and that sluggish feeling makes it feel even more mellow and subdued. This sound is really useful when I want to ride on a crash cymbal, but I don't want that super heavy rock or metal vibe. I've also found that this crash works really well with different accessories, so a lot of times I'll keep a ching ring or cymbal bacon on this guy. Of all the crashes that I have on my kit, this is probably my only must-have crash. Now my ride cymbal, in my opinion, is the most unique cymbal that I own by far. This is the Byzance 22-inch vintage Pure Light Ride, and I actually handpicked this guy from the Meinl factory in Nashville. Now in general, I'm not someone that uses a ride cymbal a ton in my natural playing, so I like ride cymbals that are a little bit more subtle and mellow, or the total opposite of a cutting, pingy sounding ride. Now the thing to keep in mind about the Vintage Pure series is that these are super quiet cymbals. This ride almost sounds compressed at times because it's like the cymbal limits its own volume when you lay into it. It does wake up and crash well, but it just has this monotone, hot breath that kind of spreads over the whole kit. Now it certainly has the wide spread that you would expect from a big 22-inch cymbal, but definitely not the volume. The bell of the ride is super dark and it's just loud enough to be useful, but definitely not a sharp bell sound. Now admittedly, this is not the most versatile cymbal. There are many genres that this ride just won't work for, but I kind of like having that one weirdo cymbal on the kit that just completely does its own thing. Now obviously with Meinl there are literally hundreds of stack options that you could create, but I tend to lean towards the softer stacks because I don't play heavy enough music to need something that's really aggressive and brutal. So for my stack I use a 16-inch vintage trash crash underneath a 12-inch Byzance traditional splash. Now this combination can be tightened down for a really short stacker sound, but I like leaving it a little bit open so you get some wash in between the two cymbals. For me, this combo is the perfect medium between a super aggressive stacker and then a really big washy stacker. So these little guys are new to my setup, but I'm pretty confident they'll stay on the kit for a while because they really don't take up much space and it's an awesome voice to have on the kit. This is an 8-inch pair of Crasher hats. Now these are effectively a set of hi-hats, so you can treat them like a set of hi-hats. Anything you might normally play on closed hats will sound killer on these things. With a larger stacker, playing steady grooves tends to just sound a little bit more heavy and aggressive, but the Crasher hats are just more tasteful and versatile for grooves, especially if they're ones where you might play the same groove with a closed hi-hat. You can just sort of transfer that over to the Crasher hats and it sounds pretty good. Now obviously the small size is to create that super short sound, but when cymbals are this small, you can literally mount them anywhere. So it's super convenient to place these things anywhere on your kit. Right now I have them just above the bass drum, but truthfully you could fit these in anywhere on your kit. I've also learned that the Crasher hats are way louder than I anticipated, so they're super recording friendly. Alright guys, that's it. If I could leave you with one piece of cymbal advice, it would be to take your time and only purchase the cymbals that you're absolutely in love with. I think we've all had a case of cymbal fever, where you convince yourself that you need something new and then you rush and you purchase the first cymbal that you like at Guitar Center. But I would encourage you to slow down and thoroughly research every cymbal that you have in mind. Now, I want to be clear that this isn't an advertisement, but genuinely the best place to buy your cymbals is from mycymbal.com. When you're talking about cymbals that are hand-hammered and hand-lathed, like all of the ones in my setup, you have to remember that there will be slight variations from cymbal to cymbal. Hearing the exact cymbal that you're purchasing is super important, and mycymbal.com is a great place to go where you can hear several different versions of the same cymbal and pick the one that matches the exact sound you're hearing in your head. If you want to learn more about all the gear that I use to make my videos, including drum heads, cameras, lenses, microphones, and more, check out the first link in the description. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later.